Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we've got the EV test on the 2022 Hyundai Tucson plug-in hybrid. This is estimated to go about 33 miles in mixed driving on electric power alone. So today we're going to head out and do the Daily Motor mixed driving loop on electricity only to see if you really can get that 33 miles here in real-world driving. If you do want to see more on the Hyundai Tucson, we're going to have a video testing the highway-only, gas-only fuel economy. So if you were to take this on a highway road trip, you could see what sort of efficiency you would get after the electricity is depleted and you're just running on gas alone. And we've also got plenty of other coverage on the normal Tucsons, the hybrid and just the gas motor. So we are all filled up with electricity right now. Shout out to Grizzly for powering all of our electric vehicles. We're going to take our Grizzly charger and put it in our very safe and scientific resting spot right there. But you can see this 24-foot cable actually is pretty cool because we have it plugged into the garage here and it powers all of our EVs. Used to power our Tesla before we replaced it with the Maverick. One thing that is a bummer with most non-Teslas is you gotta come back over here and close up that manually. Let's get on in. No sort of preconditioning for the cabin. A few things to note for today. Outside temperatures 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Tire pressures have been set to their door placard, 35 psi cold. And we're going to set the climate control at 67 degrees auto. Now yes, this will use the heater a little bit, but like I said, this is supposed to be a real world test, so we want to replicate if you were to actually head out and drive this car from your house, how far could you actually get? And obviously people want to be warm. So let's go climate control, auto, 67. We're also going to do 1 degree of seat heat. GPS has been reset. Let's reset our trip computer. And we're ready to begin. Oh no, the engine kicked on. Why did the engine kick on? Is that to make heat? Electric mode. Alright, I just put it into electric mode. Is the engine going to shut off? Alright, I'm just going to turn the car off. Maybe this car is unable to make heat without powering on the engine, which I could see, but is a bit unfortunate because competitors like the RAV4 Prime do not need to do that. So let's start with this off. We're in electric mode. Turn the car on. Okay, ready to drive. EV. Put it in gear. Now I'm going to turn the climate on. Yep. Shoot. So we need to use the engine in order to make heat. That's unfortunate. How do we want to run this test? I guess we'll run it without heat because arguably there are quite a few people in a lot of different climates that would be able to get away without running the heat on their car, and they might just want to know how far this could go. But I definitely consider that to be a big con for any plug-in electric vehicle if it has to use the engine to make heat, because then realistically you can't own it as a full EV for daily commuting. So we are going to keep climate control off, but we will run 2 levels of seat heat at least because I'm going to be cold, and we're going to run the heated steering wheel. So let's start it up again. Make sure we're in electric mode and drive away. Let's see what different drive modes we have here. We've got Eco, Sport, Smart, and Snow. We're going to do this test in Eco. Also a bit disappointed that there's no one-pedal driving with the Tucson plug-in hybrid, so you do still have to use the brake pedal quite a bit. One thing I like about driving electric vehicles is being able to come nicely to a stop without using the brake pedal. Alright, so we're gonna drive this thing around and see how long it takes to deplete the 13.8 kilowatt hour battery. See if we can get that 33 mile figure. We're going to be averaging about 35 miles per hour on this test. It's got a mixture of 25, 35, 45, and 55 mile an hour roads. So it should be a fairly accurate, real-world sort of mixed driving fuel economy test, or electric efficiency test. So we're going to catch up with you at the end, see how this thing does. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Unfortunately, about 12 miles in here, I was leaning on the throttle to get up to speed on the road, and the engine kicked in. So we're using some gas right now. I wasn't even full throttle. I was about, well, I guess I did get pretty full on there, but there's no kick down pedal to engage the engine. I guess it just came on its own. So again, that's not quite like the RAV4 Prime where you can fully lean into the throttle and have it be on EV only. So I'm actually gonna cycle the engine off here in a second, turn it back on, and hopefully give ourselves back an EV. But I was in electric mode here. I was not in automatic. That's disappointing. We are down to 1 mile left of EV range according to the vehicle. Interestingly, still 22% left on the battery here, but it says only 1 mile. So I wonder if when the battery hits 20%, if that's when it shifts itself into hybrid vehicle mode rather than full EV. I should say, from that little clip I shot earlier, it's clear that there is a little white ring around the outside of the power meter here, right about maybe 80 or 90% of power, that if you go over that, the gas motor is going to kick in. I understand that in an emergency situation, you need to be able to put the accelerator all the way down and get full power from your vehicle. I'm fine with that. But the solution I appreciate for that is when there's a kick down button right at the very bottom of the pedal, that if you push through that and push that button, then you get the engine kicking in, you get full power. I want to be able to have a resistance point before that I can push the pedal all the way down to that point and still be an EV only. I don't want to have to watch this meter and see, oh, am I going over that little indicated bit? That being said, it is pretty easy to drive within that power meter there. You got to pay attention rather than just letting it be by feel. Oh wow, we're all the way down to 18%. So maybe we will take it all the way down to 0. It'll be interesting here. It is a 13.8 kilowatt hour battery according to Hyundai. Now again, I don't know how much of that we can use in EV only mode here. I don't know if it's going to switch into hybrid mode before that or what. We do still seem to have all of our power, so that's nice. I am cold in here. I would not have done this format of test at any colder temperatures than this. It's 38 degrees Fahrenheit right now. My feet are quite cold, but I have had 2 levels of seat heat and the 1 heated steering wheel going to keep me somewhat comfortable. And fortunately, the big panoramic glass roof has allowed a good amount of sunlight to come in, a little bit of a greenhouse effect. I'm not a huge fan of the conventional 6-speed automatic transmission in this car. When you're driving an electric vehicle, you want that perfect smoothness in the powertrain, and instead you get little hiccups, little bumps from the car shifting, even though we're in electric only mode. So it's not a huge deal. Most people probably won't even really notice it, but again, why not have it just be perfectly smooth? This is an application where I would be totally for a CVT, or even better, one of Hyundai's intelligently variable transmissions, essentially a CVT with a chain rather than a belt. I'd be happy with that sort of application here. Or maybe some sort of entire disconnect where the electric motor is on the other side of the transmission and can power the wheels directly rather than having to work through the transmission. I don't know. I'm sure they've engineered it the best they could, but I would prefer a CVT in this sort of situation. You also feel it when you're coming down to a stop. Oh wait, my engine's on. When did that happen? It's such a calm, smooth engine that I didn't even notice it kick in. But it must have been somewhere around 37 miles according to the odometer. But we know we were running on gas for about a mile there in the middle of the test. So about 36 miles of mixed driving here on electric only. And it looks like at about 15% is when we started running in hybrid vehicle mode. Interesting. Okay, so pretty good to know. We'll have to get back to the house here and do a little bit of our number crunching to see exactly how efficient we were, how much electricity we used, and sort of our miles per kilowatt hour. But looks like you can do about 36 miles without running the heat on electric only and mixed driving here in the Tucson plug-in hybrid. Let's get back to the house, calculate our miles per kilowatt hour, and wrap this up. All right, back here at the house, we do have a 13.8 kilowatt hour battery. Like I said, I don't know if that is included in this is 16% here. I don't know if that means we still have 15% of the 13.8 kilowatt hours left. I would assume so, but So I guess we'll calculate both and kind of talk about that. So if we really did use the whole 13.8 kilowatt hours as Hyundai says this car is available to use, then we've got 36 miles traveled divided by 13.8, giving us an efficiency of 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour. Not fantastic, but for kind of a mixed hybrid like this, not really that awful either. Now, if we actually only used 85% of that, then 13.8 times 85%, then really maybe we only used 11.7 kilowatt hours. Oh, there's my mailman. So 36 divided by 11.7, that'd be giving us 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour. That would be a little bit more believable in terms of how we were running without the heat and a vehicle of this size and weight. Okay, so not my favorite plug-in hybrid from the plug-in hybrid usability aspects. For me in a colder climate, I'm going to want something that can create its own heat, even if it's not as efficient, even if it would be more energy efficient in a lot of ways and vehicle efficient, if you will, a simpler design to just fire up the engine to make heat. I would rather have a car that I can just power entirely from my house for daily driving type of situations. Maybe I'm powering it from my place of work, and then when I go on trips, then I can fire up the gas motor. But I do enjoy driving the hybrid Tucson, the plug-in hybrid Tucson. It's a good car. I like it. I like a lot about it, but maybe not the best plug-in hybrid option. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on the Tucson hybrid, plug-in hybrid, check the links in the description. I'm going to go do the highway fuel economy test after this. We've got DM test drive, sound system tests, all good things. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.